What up, y'all? You back? I've been telling you some of the secrets of Kwanzaa. So, by the way, every time I put my hair back, people think I cut my hair. I didn't cut my hair. So, one of the secrets is that we go back and forth between the red and the green days, representing the constant struggle and the constant faith and rewards that we get from the struggle. Another secret that we showed is that there's a particular order to Kwanzaa. It's not just random. So, when you're studying the principles of Kwanzaa, you're also getting solutions to things that are very complicated in our real life. For example, yesterday when we talked about Ujamaa and we had the collective work and responsibility, we found out that responsibility can be a burden to a lot of people, right? But when we have collective work and responsibility, it's no longer a burden. It's actually the responsibility that is granted to us versus the react ability. We get to respond to a collective that we know has our same intentions and our best intentions in mind. So similarly today with Ujamaa, we have cooperative economics. And I think this is a red day because a lot of people struggle with economics. They struggle with the idea of supply and demand, scarcity, exchanging resources, worthiness, all of that, right? But they forget about the cooperative part. And the cooperative part, again, comes right off of yesterday's Ujamaa. So if you understand the momentum of coming from unity into self-determination, into collective work and responsibility, then you understand cooperative economics. I teach a program called Make It Full-Time for Artists, and I'll start to advertise that more as we proceed into the new year when I launch my program. So this is an excellent opportunity to talk about that. Making it full-time for artists. A lot of artists think that because they're not getting as much money as the famous artists who they think about, that they don't have value and that other people don't value them. They're looking for money as a sign of their value, right? And ironically, if you stop looking for money as a sign of your value, you actually generate more money. The way it works is that when you cooperate with people and they respect you and they feel like your work is in a collective with them, what you do benefits them, they want to have you around more. They want to work with you more. And that leads to you getting credit. People start to use your name more. They start to talk about you. Oh, you know him? I know him too. That type of thing. Once there's enough of a demand of people wanting to work with you, that's when you have to charge money because people can't all have you at the same time, right? So you need something to separate who is the priority right now. Also, if they want to get you further and further away, it costs more money for transportation and taking time away from other jobs that you be doing to pay your bills. This starts to become your main way you pay your bills. So you do need to get paid more for it. And one of the great things about that is people start to expect to pay you. And based on how much you seem to love what you do and stay on the path to what you do, and other people seem to talk about you, they are glad to pay you more than they used to pay you before. Bars. However, I think the pain of cooperative economics of Ujamaa is that people forget that. People forget that the money comes from the credit that people love to give to you, the value that your name gives them, right? If they say your name, people will show up. If they say your name, people will feel a certain way. People will trust you. I think people forget that besides the credit, there's an underlying collective work. There's an underlying determination, right? If you try to skip this idea of gratitude, understanding your clients and your co-hosts and your peers, you try to skip these steps of being in unity and gratitude with your clients and with your hosts and with your promoters and with everything that lets you be great at what you do because others are being great at what they do. If you try to skip the step of being really determined to reach the next level of what you do to bring the most value, if you try to skip this step of making sure that you're an asset and not a liability, it's not just that you're talented, you're someone who people love to work with. And you love to do what you do, right? So when you forget all these things and you're just wondering why you don't have the money because you're talented, or why you don't have the money because you've been doing this for so long, or why you don't have the money, you're causing yourself unnecessary harm and pain because money is a result of everything that leads up. We have 4 days right now before we even got to cooperative economics. Now let's talk about Martin Luther King once again. Now y'all know I love to talk about Martin Luther King and how people misinterpret him. So let's talk about MLK for a second. People think that his activism and his nonviolence was all about just letting people be violent towards him. That's ridiculous. He wouldn't have gotten anything done if he was just a pacifist. He was an activist who was nonviolent, which means he had to figure out, and he researched for years and studied all different kinds of paradigms. How do people successfully achieve goals for them and their countries and their communities without becoming the very oppressor they're trying to fight against? Okay, this was a brilliant man. This was a studied man. This was an active man out in the field testing these theories out. And one of the things that he passed on to us was the idea of divestment, investment and divestment, which means cooperative economics isn't just about spending money. It's all about who are you spending your money with? Are you spending money with companies that care about your well-being and that of your community? Or are you just spending money on companies that don't have your best interests in mind? Divestment away from companies that harm you and the causes that you care about is a very powerful form of activism, and it doesn't require money. It can be time, it can be energy, it can be groups of people not participating with a certain system and focusing all their energy towards another system. And this has been effective for some of the poorest people and marginalized people, as in the case of Martin Luther King, which he used divestment and reinvestment, rechanneling our resources, our time, our energy, and our money towards more mutually fulfilling endeavors. So cooperative economics reminds us, one, that economics is about cooperation. The supply, the demand, the opportunity, who we're representing, what resources we have to bring in exchange with each other. And it's a beautiful thing when you see collective work and responsibility channeled towards cooperative economics. But again, when people try to skip straight to money and reduce cooperative economics to money, that's usually when they cause themselves unnecessary pain and struggle. If you follow all the other steps leading up to cooperative economics, it becomes quite obvious that people want to compensate you and people want to spend time and energy and money with you. And they also value your time, money, and energy because they understand that you are doing things for a reason and they can trust you and you're not going to squander your resources or theirs. All right, Ujamaa, cooperative economics. Peace.